And I have a student pricing for tonight because I know times are rough, especially on students. So, you know, everything over there is discounted. And I take debit, Visa, whatever, so we can make things happen. Just step into the office. I'm a businessman, so. All right, so let's do this. He was algebra, most people found him hard like dealers at casinos. He was quick to pull your cards, he never knew his dad and he blamed it on his mom, not in touch with his feelings. He emotionally scarred, made a promise to himself that he'd never give his heart, so only gave his anytime it got hard. To broads he would meet, little tricks he would call them, promised them the world and he would never call them. Kept this up for years, but then there was a problem. Walking down the street he heard a voice call him, didn't recognize the voice but was shocked when he saw the eyes of a child that looked just like his. He flipped through the cards trying to remember this trick that he played, but he found that her name was elusive. No need for a test, the child's face was conclusive, proof of a burden that he would have to run from. Genetics are a sprinter that you can never outrun. He took the baton from a man he never knew and hated this chick for what she tried to do. She had other options, she didn't have to choose to have this little kid for a one-night stand and try to track him down. I want him to be a dad when he never had and really doesn't want to be tied to a woman who reminds him of his mom, so he moved on with no second thoughts. There was no divorce coming. He was married to the streets. The ghetto is a butcher, so he wound up in some beef. Cold man, cold heart. One night he felt the heat as 3 silver bullets pierced right through his skin. Went to sleep on the ground and woke up in an intensive care unit with nobody there. Soon realized that nobody cared. First time in his life, this man felt scared. Prayed to God for his life, not out of faith, out of fear. It was there that he saw the 2 eyes reappear, the same eyes he denied from the very first sight. It was through his closed eyes that he'd finally seen the light, that child was the only thing he had in this life. He had always done wrong, but now he wants to do right. He knew his life was in need of a change like Obama, so he cut all the drama with his baby mom before winding up in court in front of your honor, being stripped of his dignity, respect, and his honor. So he stripped off his armor and bore his soul, tried to be a farmer to the seed he'd sown, unconditional love, something he'd never known. He couldn't stop the tears that came to his eyes, couldn't figure out how to get lost time, so he took it as it came, tried to live in the moment, one step at a time on this road to atonement. To be a gift, born into this world male, packaged in black skin, is to be constantly reminded that your life is disposable, that it lacks meaning and value and isn't protected by the law. You live with the knowledge that justice is a junk that will not be served. We, the black gifts, are the first to be accused and the last to be believed. We are the guilty until proven innocent, the aggressor despite the evidence. We are the hoops for which loopholes are made. We are the sambos, the puppets, our value determined by the worth we bring our puppeteers. So dance, Negro, dance, rap, black boy, rap, run, nigga, run. But what about those of us who are regular, who are average, who don't have gifts or talents that the world wants or needs, who are just their bodies, packaged in black skin, stuck on modern-day plantations, being abused at will, and people wonder why we seldom smile, and it seems like our looks could kill. We are the ones who put basketballs in our sons' palms before they can walk and only dribble, with the hope that they will grow to dribble beyond their packaging. We are the ones that make elevators go quiet, purses and loved ones clench tighter. We are the deer that stare down the barrel of guns, but there is no license needed to hunt us. We are the suspicious packages at the airport or in any store with goods that we aren't supposed to be able to afford, whether in a hoodie or a suit, accused of driving while black in minivans or coupes. We are the black licorice discarded at Halloween, the silhouette used for target practice by the police, the black men who spend their days wanting nothing but to be human with respect and dignity. So this is for every Trayvon, Jaquan, Marcus, Jordan, Dwayne, for every black man considered a nigga despite having a name, for everyone who has ever felt the pain of race, for the empty seat beside a black man on the train, for we are the ones who meet death on cold asphalt, discarded like roadkill. We are the ones, worthless bodies packaged in black skin that nobody seems to want. We are the voiceless. We are the ones. So definitely want to give a shout out to all of the young men who are in the room right now, and whether you hit the stage or not, because you know, as a community, a lot of times we're really falling behind, and you gotta, anytime there's something productive happening, you always have to look around and be like, yo, where are the men in here? So I want to just big up all the dudes who are in the place right now, because it's so important that our energy is in these things. So listen up, little brother, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to those of you who congregate outside of your homes and are willing to give your life for a block that you don't own. You don't see that they got you attracted to the fast life, full of fast money, fast girls, and fast cars, and you don't recognize that you're on the fast track to death or a life behind bars. I'm talking to those of you that doctors keep doped up on Ritalin so you can't remember your times tables. You're just rhyming and riddling your favorite rap songs as schools implement zero tolerance policies on those of you who struggle to stay involved and find relevance in school when the curriculum renders you irrelevant, invisible, only visible when you're serving detention in the office, only to graduate to youth detention with officers controlling your movements. I understand that at times it is hard being a young black man, but to truly understand struggle, talk to a woman who has given birth. We are all here through sacrifice and pain, so there's no reason to believe that the things that we go through day to day should be easy. Life is an opportunity that God blesses us with. And what are you going to do when he comes knocking, asking you to stand and decide if you're going to be a man? Whatever you decide, I don't want to hear you speaking about racism holding you back. Racism and its impact are well-known facts, but it is far too easy to use your skin color as a crutch, thinking that because you are black, you will never measure up when it is your blackness that makes you the measuring stick. You are the standard, and I've been trying to do everything that I can to help you grow and become a man, and I refuse to give up. You've got the Midas touch, because everything that you touch turns to gold and becomes a part of your being. Though it seems as though many of you have lost your focus, you stand in the midst of opportunity feeling hopeless, no longer studying science and math because you think that they're tough. The universities are overcrowded, but the student body no longer represents us. Little brother, people used to travel from afar to study with you. Now they spend millions of dollars studying you, trying to find out the latest slang and new designer shoes. If you show your face in this world, the world will reflect your image, but many of you are not looking in life's mirror. Little brother, greatness awaits. They have yet to invent anything that you cannot do. Little brother, this world belongs to you. Now open your hands and take it. The signs of the times are at hand. Understand the fall of mortal woman and man as we continue to kill one another over natural resources and land in the name of God. And while it is my opinion that we shouldn't be trying to take over the globe and put it under the sole control of a few who have the resources to assert their worldview, common sense has become commonly confused as it is packaged and marketed for us to consume without ever questioning whose sense is it and how common is it to all people. I mean, what if I told you that they already have the cure for AIDS? It's just that poor people, many of whom happen to be people of color, don't have the money to pay to be saved unless their government is willing to sign away their natural resources. And it appears as though there's no recourse because there's a lot of money in research and even more in death. And with the lives being lost being of African descent, this world could care less because even in death, the black body remains a poster child for good sex, and some people just don't get it. Some folks have looked at our life experience and have made a fetish out of black pain. They in the sex shops buying whips and chains. At nights they get together in the bed role-playing who gets to be master and who gets to be slave. And I remember back in the day when white men used to look at their slaves and be like, yo, that's my nigga. Now we see our peeps in the street and we be like, yo, that's my nigga. And I figured that we would have moved from here, but it's clear that we are still stuck in that slave past when we need to go way back to when we honored our humanity, cherished our creativity, back to when we created chemistry, philosophy, astrology. And I guess it's not that bad because we're still seeing stars. It's just the only ones most of us can recognize, and them fake ones they put on 106 and Park. And as the times are getting dark, I thank God for allowing me to see this world for what it is and how it truly could be, because nothing that we see happening should come as a surprise, because all this stuff around us are just signs of the times. On your mark, get set, and so it begins. On the dark continent of enlightenment, the place from where all history comes, of people who are so ahead of their time, they were sending text messages when they only had drums. Out of the starting blocks, we are off to an early lead as world travelers and explorers, sharing our philosophies, creating universities and structures that would make the world stop and wonder before passing the baton on to the relay's next runner in the Caribbean Sea, who lost a bit of ground through the Middle Passage in slavery, but nobody said that the race would be easy. So for over 400 years, they continued to run, limping through the pain, knowing that cramps will come come and it's going to hurt sometimes. We've got to focus and keep going through the plantations, the lynchings, and the hate, even when the spectators in the stands call you other than your name, because it is not what we are called, but what we answer to that is important. Victory is an uphill climb, and we've got to continue to rise like Lazarus, knowing that even the slightest of steps can mean so much. Sister Rosa Parks sat down to stand up, so I can't give up as I try to make sense of this baton that's been placed in my hand while I struggle just to be accepted as a man in this world that seems more concerned with whether or not I'm endowed down south, and I'm all about being endowed in the places where it counts, in my family and my community, because knowledge of self is